Good evening. Welcome to another episode, Season 5 of The Leader's Edge. Tonight, it gives me so much pleasure to introduce somebody that I have known over the years. She has become a very good friend and, of course, a celebrity, mind you.
Hello.
Yes. Today, she will talk about personal branding for purpose, passion, and prosperity. We are so happy that she will be able to share her secrets in being able to reinvent and pivot past this very, very fast during this pandemic. And you know, not everyone can do that. Our speaker is an AICI, Association of Image Consultants International, CIM, which is, of course, wow, that means it's a master, certified image master, a multi-awarded image consultant and fashion designer, a sought-after speaker, workshop facilitator, and author of the personal branding book, The Purple Pig Wears Red Lipstick. She is the president and lead fashion designer of the North Road Group, a corporation that specializes in image and fashion. From a business solely devoted to changing looks, she has evolved to changing lives through the launching of ReinventU, an online learning platform offering courses, consultancy, and coaching for personal and professional development, soft skills, and creative entrepreneurship. She is one of 21 certified image masters in the whole world because it's not easy to achieve, by the way. She is the first and only Filipino to have attained the highest level of certification, which is the CIM, bestowed only to image experts with a proven track record of competence and experience via a rigorous accreditation process by the Association of Image Consultants International, the world certifying body for image professionals. A cum laude graduate of the University of the Philippines, she holds an MBA, Master's in Business Administration from the same university and has taken courses at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York, thus gaining a reputation for balancing creativity and commerce. Delby has been named as one of the Philippines' Inspiring Entrepreneur awardees during the 8th Filipina Entrepreneurship Summit held last February 18, 2016 at the World Trade Center. I tell you that she has more, but you know, Delby said, no, this cannot already, it's too long. So she cut out already some of it anyway. So Delby, to start with, I know not all of our viewers will be familiar with image consultancy because most of them are HR consultants, you know, organizational development, more of that kind of background. So can you tell us what was it that inspired you to become a fashion designer and then branch out to other things? Because I know from all the things that I've learned about you, it's really how you started and you flourished in the fashion industry, being a very creative fashion designer. So how did that come about, and about how old were you or how young were you when that came about?
Okay, so hello everybody. Hi, Miss Dinah. I mean, it's really such a pleasure to be with you right now. And actually, you hit the nail on the head because you were talking about creativity. And regardless of whether you are an HR practitioner, organizational development, or somebody out in the street just trying to improve yourself, creativity is actually intelligence, having fun, and it is what you call a transferable skill. So which means regardless of what industry you are, if you're in fashion, which I was from and I am from, or you transfer to creating courses, you transfer to perhaps another kind of industry. When you have creativity, that's the spark that leads you to start developing new things, innovating. And so it was creativity. That was the spark for me to move from fashion to actually developing, creating courses or coaching programs or training like what we do to help people affect positive change. So the inspiration came from seeing that OMG, people were changing when they started wearing my creations, and we would help them with everything from the top of their head down to the toes. So we were not only helping them change their looks. So I would design clothes, and my clients would usually be asking me, I mean, how am I going to be fixing my hair? Am I supposed to change it? How am I supposed to put my makeup on? What accessories am I supposed to be wearing? Etc. So it was becoming a full consultancy effort without me knowing that I was already doing it. So it started from changing looks. But, I was thinking after the big event, because I was specializing in big events for my clients. So whether they were suits for men or designer barongs for men, or whether they were fabulous like gowns for awarding ceremonies, for big milestones in people's lives, birthdays, etc., they would ask me to design clothes for them. I would help them not only with the clothes, but with more than the clothes. Everything from the top down. But after the big event, after the wedding or whatever it was, bottom line was the clothes were going to fall like as a heap on the floor. And that was it. So on to the next big event when they would call me. However, when I got the inspiration to start thinking, is there something more permanent that I can help people with? So that was the spark that already led me to the path towards creating. So that was creating training programs, creating coaching programs. I mean, the transformation was still inherent. It was just a different way of helping people transform. And later on, it became helping corporations. So it was like groups of people. So that was the inspiration and the journey.
Oh, okay. I can see now that it was like a really exciting, and it's like a spontaneous. I mean, nobody pushed you to it. It just happened. So Delby, what is the difference between corporate branding and personal branding?
Corporate branding is when these corporations or business entities, sometimes they would say these are artificial beings created by law. So these are business entities, and then they start wanting to position themselves in the vast business landscape, or perhaps differentiating their products. So you also have product branding, differentiating their products, their services, etc., compared to the rest. So that's more in the realm of corporate branding and product branding. It's actually a positioning and differentiation strategy. So when you move to personal branding, that one has to do more with people and how they differentiate themselves, how they position themselves, and how they elicit perception of themselves so that they can in turn move forward their purpose, celebrate their passion, or create, monetize their, how do you say this? Monetize their expertise. So personal branding, since you asked, let me just take you backward and share a little bit about the roots of personal branding. Actually, in 1997, there was a marketing and management guru named Tom Peters. And he wrote an article in Fast magazine, Fast Company magazine, entitled The Brand Called You. And in that article, he actually postulated that all of us are CEOs of our own brand. And it actually opened my eyes to the thought that at the end of the day, we are all sellers. So as CEOs of our own brand, it is up to us to really position ourselves and hopefully work on an authentic way of personal branding so that you can level up with whether you are selling products, services, or you're going for an advocacy or whatever message you would like to share with the world. Personal branding is the gateway.
You know what? I can bravely, boldly declare that one of your personal brands is your positivity. Because I remember before we as a group started that chapter, the Philippine chapter of the Association of Image Consultants International in the Philippines. There was a loud voice who told us, practically everybody who wants to listen, that the Philippines is not prepared to have its own chapter. And this voice was really saying, wait and wait for many more years because it will become a flop. And I saw how you took that. You took that in stride. And instead of being affected negatively by it, what did you do? You continued meeting with us, your co-founders, and you were just so encouraging that, no, we can make a go of this. It's up to us. I mean, it's nobody can tell us that it cannot be done, because I know you told us during those meetings, you said, I know in my heart, I believe in it. It's so deeply embedded in me that we are destined to have our own Philippine chapter. So Delby, because I know that you went through, I would say, a lot of trials because it took some time, it wasn't just like overnight, no. So what kept you going? What was it that prodded you or really made you so strong that you continued and in fact you flourished and your dreams came true? I mean, what was it?
There is a saying, if the intention is clear, the mechanism will appear. And so for me, the backstory that you're sharing right now has been one of the most challenging times in my life. But at the same time, I can also honestly say that they were some of the most memorable and cherished times. So I remember the saying, enjoy the journey as well as the destination, because during those formative years of the AICI Philippine chapter, during the times when there were naysayers, so saying the Philippines is not ready, or we're not good enough, or perhaps look out at what other countries are doing first before we do anything, etc. I had this strong feeling that I was blessed because I had a group of women who were very, very strong They were strong in body, mind, and spirit. And that included you. So I can never forget those days of really meeting and meeting every week, doing everything that was required, because we are part of an international association. So there are bylaws to follow, there are laws to follow, formative stages that have to be done. So those were the most challenging days. But looking back, I felt that we were blessed because we had the opportunity to now help all of these new, upcoming, and amazing new members. And in turn, these new members will be in a better position than us, honestly, because there's like the floodgates of global education are now open. The floodgates of being able to collaborate on a global scale are now open. And there is certification on a global scale, which we can help our members with. So this was a great learning opportunity for me in terms of leadership. Not only leadership as a group, but also leadership in terms of self-leadership. And the third thing is being self-aware. I mean, you know, just a reflective thought that at the end of the day, it's very important to be clear about what your intentions are. And the more the intentions are centered on other people and how your actions can help them and improve their lives, increase their income making generation, I mean, their income making capability, the more things move forward faster. But if it's me, myself, and I, and you know, it's fame and ambition, etc., you might get your 15 minutes of fame, but is it going to be sustainable? I mean, Miss Dana, you were there celebrating with us recently on our 10th year. And I was so surprised. My gosh, has it been 10 years? But yes, we were able to survive, thrive, and I'm really proud of the number of corporations that became our clients, the number of individuals that became our clients, and the advocacies that we had helping women who are disadvantaged, women who were victims of violence and trafficking in our country. So for those three things, I am very proud, and it was an honor to take that journey with you.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Delby, by the way, because I know that you really have a lot of, I would say, different endeavors now, because you've really kind of branched out to other things. What, for you, at this moment in time, what gives you the most satisfaction, the most joy among all these things that you are doing right now?
When somebody says that they were inspired by what I did or what I said, that one gives me the most joy. So just to share with you, yesterday when I opened my phone, I noticed on LinkedIn, which is, by the way, I would highly recommend everybody, all professionals, to jump into that platform. So I saw that somebody was looking at my profile, because, you know, when you check it out, you can see who is checking you out. And so I just said, hello, good morning to this person, not knowing who that person was. And lo and behold, she goes, hello, Delby. I was in one of your talks. Thank you so much for, thank you so much. I got so inspired. So I said, what talk are you talking about? Because, you know, you can't really pinpoint with the number of both virtual and in-person talks that we give. So she said, oh, it was when you were the opening number. So I was going, opening number? So I was naming certain companies. Were you from this company? Were you from this company? And of course, I cannot name all the companies that I spoke for. And then she actually said thank you. And after that, I was able to identify which of the events she was at. And she was saying she was inspired, and she was so thankful that her company sent her to that talk. So for me, that made my day, because even though one person feels that I positively impacted them, then it makes the whole thing worthwhile.
Congratulations, by the way. LinkedIn named you as one of the 100 Filipina influencers, most, the best influencers in the Philippines. So in LinkedIn.
Thank you. Thank
you.
you.
And because of the thousands and thousands of professionals who participate in LinkedIn, that is a great honor. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
Actually, I was surprised. I mean, between us girls, I was really surprised. But what was more surprising was maybe not so much that, okay, so you're part of the top 100, which I'm thankful for. But I was wondering, how on earth did I become top 8? So I was going, it cannot possibly be.
I saw that, number 8.
So that one for me was surprising, aside from the fact that I love the number 8. Hello, infinity. But
Yeah.
infinity. But I was thinking, how could that be? Because if it's follower count, there's no way I can be top 8 for follower count. But I guess it had to do with, because they disclosed the procedure, and they were saying it was the number of people who nominated you or something like that. So I guess in that sense, I'm hoping that somehow these women that nominated me, I was able to positively impact them through LinkedIn.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure, because I have seen your posts in LinkedIn, and they are purposeful, meaningful. They are not, they are not just flimsy. Oh, here I am doing this, doing that. No. You most of the time, the posts that I see are meaningful in the sense that you give tips through videos, like talk shows, etc. So that for me is a big one. Yes.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Actually, it's part of a strategic and mindfully crafted personal branding strategy, because LinkedIn, because we have a lot of listeners, I'm sure a lot of people listen to you. When you have a really well thought of personal branding strategy, I would highly recommend, especially if you are in the business world or if you are a professional, then use LinkedIn. It's the largest B2B or B2C platform in the world.
Now, Delby, you can be, of course, without naming names, all right? Can you tell us your experience of consultancy work wherein you transform somebody? So probably this person was so shy, or she was unhappy with her life, and then she went through an image consultancy with you, and somehow you were able to bring out the best that is in her and transform her. Can you please, if you don't mind, without naming names, just can you tell us an example?
I will give you one story where the fashion business and the executive coaching or training business merged. A long time ago, I spoke at a certain event in a hotel. Okay, let's leave it at that. And at that point in time, most of the people there were, I believe there were secretaries, administrative assistants, and people who were holding down admin jobs and support work for corporations. I forgot all about that. Years later, somebody walks into the boutique. Hi, Miss Delby. I said, hi. You might not remember me, but years ago, I sat at your class. I sat at your session, and you were talking about professional image development, about how we should dress for the position we want, not the position we have, how we have to be strategic and forward-looking, and how we can future-proof our career. You talked about so many things. I cannot remember everything you said, but I remember how you made me feel. I was inspired. So now I want to tell you that I am the boss. And I have been promoted several times. I'm the boss, and I would like to ask you to please design for me suits, a whole wardrobe of suits, and dressing for after 6 when I do cocktails with other people, other top dogs of certain corporations, and please make also for my kids. So I was looking at her and I was going, okay, sure. So it was something that, of course, when we speak, we're one to many. You cannot remember each and every body in that audience, but if they remember you, then there must have been something you said that hit a chord. So I remember what Maya Angelou, the famous author, said. You know, people can forget what you said, but they can never forget how you made them feel. So, you know, that is for me an unforgettable story.
Wow. And I'm sure there are many more that you have because of all these years of image consultancy that you have been doing. And the thing is, you are so generous in that you really wanted to have more of us. You know, you wanted more people to become also image consultants. I remember, yeah, without naming names again, there was somebody, well, one of our members who said, don't you think we should stop here, not bring in more competition? Why do we have to invite competition? I mean, how can we grow if we're inviting more and more people to become like us? Yeah, you know, and I said, but you know what, maybe the exchange of ideas might be good. But she was at first, initially, but it was your, what we call persuasive powers, that later on she she went with the flow and was already starting also to invite others to join as well.
Yes.
So I can see
I
that.
do remember that. And
Yeah.
actually, if I may share, the
Yeah.
first time that I heard that did not come from somebody from within the association, or it did not come from somebody in the image world. It came from somebody who I knew in the fashion world. And then,
Oh,
you know, the person actually said, maybe Delbs, you should stop just trying to share that this one could possibly be a lucrative path, because you are actually getting more competitors. So maybe just like keep quiet and just continue doing the things you're doing, so that just a few people will end up having all of these corporate accounts, this corporate training or executive coaching opportunities, and you just, you know, you can have a ball. So I do remember somebody really saying that. But at the end of the day, you know, precisely that's why we're talking about personal branding. Because if you brand yourself right, the competition becomes irrelevant. Because at the end of the day, you have no competition. There will only be one Dinah Loomis. And no matter how much I might know the same things that you know, I might be able to do the same things that you can do, but I can never be you. So you have this uniqueness around you that attracts people to you. And so it is when it comes to being somebody in any industry. The more you share, I think the more, you know, things come to you in a positive light. And there can never be anybody like you, which is actually one of the tenets of personal branding.
I love that because people need to be reminded of that. By nature, I suppose there's always that that kind of in the background creeping in your mind sometimes. I want to be ahead. You know that you always want to be ahead of the others, and you always compete. But then, even in Toastmasters, we are told, so compete with yourself and
True,
be better than your last best self. And so
true.
I do believe in that. So Delby, I know that your involvement with AICI has brought you to many parts of the world. So can you tell us what country or which particular adventure where you were invited to a country outside of the Philippines where you found the most fulfillment and it was such a joy to do for you?
You know what, it's hard to answer that question because you know me, I always enjoy anywhere. I mean,
Okay.
it's, I think it's more a frame of mindset, but I will have to say that mindful and authentic personal branding has been one of the gateways that opened this possibility or opportunities to speak in different parts of the world. But when I look back, it's actually creating an ecosystem so that 1 plus 1 is equal to 3. So there was a synergistic effect, starting with us. We started the chapter here. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about leadership and leadership of self. I learned a lot about nurturing relationships, like with us. I learned a lot about designing your image for impact and influence. And when we say image, I just want to make it clear to all of our listeners that we're not only talking about the way you look. We're not talking about visual impact only. We're talking about, like we always say, the ABCs of image: your appearance, your business behavior, business etiquette, your communication. And lately, because of the dash towards digital, your digital presence. So all of those came together and I got inspired. Coming from a creative background, guess what Delby did? Okay, so she wrote a book. So this is, writing a book is another act of creativity. And by the way, for all of you viewers there, Miss Dinah also has a fabulous book. It's a memoir. So she was also one of our inspirations within AICI. So when she wrote a book, other people got inspired and I was one of them. So talking about that, number one was being an author. It really helped propel my career, not only locally, but globally, because I was writing about the 8 steps to a personal brand makeover for impact, influence, and income. And then I started speaking. So these were like paid speaking engagements. And let's just say, when I was speaking for advocacies, I made sure that these were for groups that really were financially challenged. Otherwise, almost all of them were paid speaking engagements. And thirdly, I started to teach. So I started accepting more of these workshops. So all of this created an ecosystem such that they helped propel me out of the country. And I had fabulous experiences in Seoul, Korea. And that was a really, really great time, there were people in that conference from different parts of Asia and internationally to Europe, US. And then the other one was Malaysia. We have great relationships with Malaysia, and AICI being a global association, we have very strong relationships with this chapter. And I had the opportunity to be invited twice, not only once. So, but the second, and I was the second time, I was able to hold, I launched a program in another country, not in my country. So this was an extra pay program where I had participants for 2 days, and we were talking about the business model canvas inspired by the great designers. So the way I structured the course was such that it was very easy to understand and inspiring, especially for creatives. And most people in the image industry are highly creative. So that was a 2-day program, which I had the opportunity to launch in Malaysia, aside from speaking at their conference. So I was talking about business for 2 days, and then I was talking about fabrics for another day, actually another half a day. So then, of course, there was, how do you say this? Mexico City, and there was Chicago recently before COVID. So Chicago was fabulous. But one also of the most unforgettable ones, Miss Dinah, it was Tokyo, Japan. OMG. It was like, honestly, the hospitality of people from Tokyo. They would say, Delby-san, you order anything from hotel. I was thinking, okay, yeah, and I love to eat. So there was a lot of fabulous food. They were so hospitable. What can I say? All of those countries had a specific type of hospitality, but our career gave me the opportunity to travel, and a lot of those invitations had free travel, free hotel accommodations from fabulous hotels, and of course all the food, etc. Not to mention, a number of them had paid speaking opportunities. So for me, if you strategically set up a career that you really love, then you will make money and you will be happy.
Yeah, I believe you. Yeah, I can see that in you. Now, Delby, I know that the Philippine chapter, AICI, is growing and thriving. So, can you please let our viewers know how they can participate in any forthcoming event? Because I heard that there's going to be another event.
Yes, actually, it would be great to invite everybody. Why don't you visit our AICI Philippine chapter page on Facebook? We also have an AICI Philippine chapter handle on IG, Instagram, where we post a lot of our events or upcoming educational opportunities or tips for certification. And also, there is an upcoming conference this coming September. So I'm going to be posting the details. And we would like to invite you, for those of you who are in the corporate world, in the business world, and if you are interested in personal or professional development, you are warmly invited. Check out the details in this slide.
Wow, that is terrific. So I'm sure that many of our viewers would be interested to take this up further with you. So how do they, again, get in touch, or how do they contact you?
Thank you for asking. For those of you who'd like to know more about how we could help you grow, or to pick up some of the freebies or free resources on personal branding that me and my team have developed for you, go to www.reinventu.net. So there's a resources page there where you can pick up free assessments, or I have developed a personal branding starter kit. It's also free, so go grab it. Also, guess what? I'm a firm believer that why don't we always create? So guess what? I just created my YouTube channel, and I just started recently, as in super recently. So if you're the type who's interested in small bite-sized pieces of video for tips on personal branding, multiple sources of income, entrepreneurship, and image impact and income, then I highly recommend you check out my YouTube page or YouTube channel at
Do you have a title? What's the title?
Design Your Success with Delby. So
All
design your success with Delby, subscribe, and of course, don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you get informed every time we produce new videos. And lastly, LinkedIn. If you are a professional, if you are in HR, organizational development, or want to grow your business, I highly, highly recommend LinkedIn. It has helped me grow my business. It has helped me with a flood of invitations, and to sell my expertise, etc. So do hit me up in LinkedIn. That's Delby Bragais AICI CIM.
Oh, that is great. So thank you so much for sharing your life journey with us, Delby. I know that your time is so precious because there are, your hands are full. A lot of things going on all at once. So I know that this is a great honor and pleasure for us to be with you and listen to your sharing in your wisdom. And by the way, for your information, our next speaker will be Sheila Wong from Malaysia, who will
Our
talk
friend.
she will be our next speaker who will talk about women empowerment. Yes. So,
She is the perfect speaker for women empowerment. And guess what? I was in her class. We were both in her class when she went to the Philippines. She was in my class when I went to Malaysia. So this is a mutual admiration society.
right. Yes. So,
Women helping women.
right. So, Delby, would you have some last words of what we call wisdom or encouragement for the people tuning in? Because I have a feeling that maybe some men may not feel comfortable with image consultancy, but I know for a fact that men also can be enhanced and can become so much better with what we call professional consultancy. So please, can you give some tips also, not just for the ladies, but also for the men professionals?
You know, I'm so glad, Miss Dinah, that you actually talked about men, because, you know, it is already a thing of the past that men are going to say, oh, that's only for women. Guess what? One of my longest running coaches, actually, come to think of it, almost all of my coaches are men. So I was wondering, OMG. And guess what? They are so easy to communicate with. Of course, and some of them are not even Filipino. I have coaches who are European. I have coaches that are not based, they're based in the Middle East, etc. But what I'm saying is, it's easy to communicate with men if they know that you know what you're speaking about. And now, at a time of challenging, yes, challenges. People want to future-proof their career, and we have a lot of ambitious professionals. You know, men are actually on the lookout for ways that they could ensure that they have career growth through the years. So men are actually a great audience for image consultants. And quite frankly, um, one of my longest running coaches is male. And the way we started was image, professional image. Everything I asked him to do regarding the clothing, regarding the way he looks, the skincare, the glasses, everything, the presentation, body language. And after that coaching session, rebook the whole year. Branding. And we're talking about people who are holding positions globally, not only locally. So also corporations. Corporations now invest in coaching for their executives. So they are they usually engage in tripartite contracts, meaning you as the coach, the coachee, and the sponsor. So a lot of the people that they recommend for coaching are male holding leadership positions. So what I'm saying is, guys, now is the time to open your eyes to the possibility of engaging services of image consultants to help you go to the next level.
Well, thank you for that, because it's a long time coming. Again, thank you so much for being our guest. Yes, so you have...
I just wanted to share. Short
yes.
lang. That is what it was before. But guess what? There was this bank then I was going to be doing a session for men. So breakout group, you know, when the doors are closed and it's only us, you will be surprised. There's so many things they want to ask you, but they don't ask it in front of everybody else. True story.
Oh, all right. That is so good to know. But it's been really fun and encouraging also for me, and really full of joy. I'm full of joy that
Same here.
I was a part of the original group that really made it fly, the
Yes.
AICI Philippine chapter fly. So thank you so much also for inviting me to the 10th anniversary of AICI Philippines. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember, you can go to Delby's page in LinkedIn, or of course you also have Facebook, but you now have a lot more. So yes, and so to our viewers out there, remember also that learning is a never ending journey
True.
with limitless vistas. Good night, everybody. Good night, Delby.
Good night. My pleasure. Thank you.